So hopefully this helps some of you guys. I know a lot of you saw my picture where I had dressed an envelope and had the Cricut write on it for me. So I'm going to show you how to set that up in Design Space. I think it's way easier than you guys are thinking. So all I do is I put my envelope on my mat right in the corner, and it measured the envelope for me, and I believe it was 4 by 9.5. So what I like to do is I'm going to insert a shape here, and I'm going to insert a square. And then I'm going to unlock it so I can make it a rectangle. And I am going to switch it to 9.5 by 4. And I'm just using this as a template. So I am going to actually change the color, even though that really doesn't matter. I'm going to change it to white just because I want to. So I'm going to add in text, and I'll do my name here. And then, oops, I'm going to go under Edit, and I'm going to switch it to a different font. And we'll just pick something fun. We'll do this one. And here's one, I'm going to delete my last name and do them in two separate things because they get a little close right here. Here's one thing that really I'm kind of anal about. It's not that big of a deal, but during, like, when you use script fonts that aren't a Cricut font, they don't connect. So I like to have them connect, and my ends aren't going to connect because there's no little connector there. So if I hit this button here, it separates each individual letter out to be its own thing, and you can move that. And all I'm doing to move these right now is using my arrow keys. And you can essentially nudge them, so you can go little bits at a time. And then I'm going to move this one over. And I'll move this one over here. And now what the Cricut would do is it would actually cut each individual letter. So if I just hit go right now, it would separate out all of my letters, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these letters, and I'm going to hit weld. So now it's just one piece. I'm going to put that back over. And I don't really technically need to do my last name. And I will just put an address in here. This is a fake address. And then I'll do and typically, you guys, I like when I'm doing lots of words, different fonts do different things. So like this 7 is extremely close to this, or this, the beginning of this 1 right here, this O. So I typically like to do it in chunks. I type this, I stop, I add more text, I type this, I stop, I add this. But for all intents and purposes, it doesn't really matter right now. So I'm going to change this to something a little bit more easy to read. And I'll just do this. How about? And all I'm doing with my template back here is just lining it up so I know exactly where I want things to be positioned. And then I will add some more text. I will line this up. And I mean, you can kind of design it any way you want to. I can definitely make a video about how to use the Samantha font because I know that is a font that a lot of you want to use. So I can do that at some point too. But now I want them to be exactly like this when I go to to cut or to write this, and it's not going to be like that. Everything's going to separate out, and it would be extremely hard since I don't have my template to go through and try to know exactly where I need to put these on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to hit weld or attach, or a lot of people like to do attach. For whatever reason, I just like to weld things. It's kind of more permanent. It's good. And then I'm going to position it back on here. And then I will do my return address. And I will just do regular font for that. And I'm going to put the return address up where it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to do, oopsies. And then I will just resize that, and I will bring it right up in here. And keep in mind, this template is exactly the size of your envelope. So where you place things on here is where they will go on the envelope. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this. Since this is exactly the way I want it addressed, I'm going to again select everything here. And I'm going to weld all of it together so it's one piece. And I'm going to move my template back up just to make sure it looks the way I want it to. Make sure you have enough room for your stamp. Everything looks good here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the template, because if you don't delete the template, then it will cut it. And if you notice right now, I actually have all of this set to cut also. So to change that, you're going to click on the little scissors and you're going to go to write. And when I do this, the letters will probably look a bit bold and kind of hard to read on the screen. It's because the Cricut or Design Space automatically makes it thick, because I think you're going to use a thick pen. But no matter what kind of pencil or pen or marker or whatever you use, it's not going to show up this thick. It's going to show up the width of whatever pen or marker or whatever you're using. So don't worry about the way this looks here. So this is the address, and then you're set to hit go. And what you're going to do is on your mat, you're going to make sure that you have your envelope positioned right up in the corner so everything goes on there the way it's supposed to. You're going to put your marker or whatever you need to inside of the Cricut. If you have an Explorer 1, you have to take out your blade and put in your writing utensil. But if you have anything else newer than the Explorer 1, you get to put it in that left side. You can use other markers or pens or whatever other than the Cricut brand, and I can make another video on how to do that. But for right now, this is how you set everything up in Design Space. Thanks for watching.